When we just owned the libs, we didn't win those races.
This is...
Oh no, they're learning. When we own the libs, we don't win. What? What's happening? Huh? But I owned all of the libs. Why aren't you guys voting for me? So a couple of days ago now, we had the election. And everybody was coming to me. Everybody was like, Shark, Shark, it's over. Shark, the Dems are gonna get blown out. Shark. I tell you what, I told everybody to calm down, okay? I was like, it's gonna be okay. We're not sure exactly what's gonna happen, but I feel like things are not always what they seem. And it seems like we were right to doubt the polls a little bit, because it seems like the Democrats across the country, overperformed all of the polls in almost everywhere except for some certain states. Places like Ohio, places like Florida. You may have seen so many people talk about how there's going to be a massive red wave, huge red wave, okay? You wouldn't even understand what's going to happen. It was going to wash over everybody like a massive tide, okay? People were like, it's going to it's going to spill over and destroy everything. Here, let me show you a little something that our good friend Chris Hayes, friend of the stream, Chris Hayes, put together for his station. I want to show you this because let me tell you, it was very funny.
There was no red wave last night. While this is a pretty surprising development to most people, including us here at the desk, imagine
red tsunami.
Being a viewer of Fox News today after weeks of being promised one.
Be an analyst for a second. Does it feel like a red wave?
It feels like a red wave, Brian.
You know, your predictions of a red wave are accurate.
Somebody made a surfboard, said the red wave is coming.
Red wave rising.
That red wave that I'm convinced is coming.
The reports I'm seeing show a big red wave coming.
Sleepy Joe just guaranteed a red wave in Pennsylvania.
There's a lot of energy on the ground. You probably hear the rally in the background right now. We think we're going to have a big red wave in Michigan.
Wow.
Democrats are bracing for the worst case scenario, a red tsunami.
We are officially on a red tsunami watch.
Sean, it's not only red wave, okay? We're on a red tsunami watch, okay? We may not even have to look for it. It's just gonna come crashing into our doors and spilling into our rooms and down the halls, and they're going to get washed away.
See a red tsunami. Red tsunami grows.
That means red tsunami.
We're not just going to see a red wave. We're going to see a red tsunami.
Poverty, joblessness, critical race theory, crazy gender ideology. We are going to see a red tsunami.
And lastly, your prediction for tonight.
I think we're going to have a red wave. I think it's going to be maybe bigger than anyone thought.
On Tuesday, we will be part of a big red wave that says enough is enough.
This meme is very real.
Up next, Elon Musk ready to ride the big red wave.
Elon Musk tweeted massive red wave.
Oh man, it's coming.
Massive red wave.
I just voted for Maria Florals. First time ever voted for a Republican. Massive red wave. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, where? Big red wave coming. Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming, all right. Oh boy.
A massive red wave.
You're about to see a red wave that makes day after tomorrow look like nothing.
That's going to be responsible for the red wave. I think the red wave that's coming is going to be like the elevator doors opening up in The Shining.
Oh, man.
Rogan said that the red wave is going to look like the elevator doors opening and the blood pouring out of the elevator.
But the elevator doors are going to be like 1,000 feet tall.
That is correct, except it's not going to be an elevator. It's going to look more like Deep Impact, the tsunami at the end, but colored red.
Oh my, so cool.
Deep Impact disaster movie? That's the red wave tsunami that'll come ashore.
It's going to be a brutal week for the Democrats beginning.
It's incredible. It's incredible how interwoven all of their like talking points are. It's just like one listens to another, listen to another, listen to another, and then they just repeat it. And then they just repeat it afterwards. It's just like, Joe Rogan said this, but it's actually going to be like that. And then he just rips off Ben's bit to just say it on Fox News. It's wild.
On Tuesday.
And frankly, I've already DVR'd CNN and MSNBC for election night, not because I'm going to watch, but just because I want to enjoy the tears post-red tsunami.
What happened to the red wave, Congresswoman?
The funniest thing about it is that like MSNBC was okay. I don't watch MSNBC that much, but I watch them from time to time, and they were laughing all night. They were actually cackling at Republicans all night. There were like a bunch of like conservative correspondents that they had to come in, and like every single time they were like, hey, you remember this clip? And then they play the clip of them saying, it's gonna be a massive red wave, but it's gonna be like it's like the doors opening in The Shining, and it's going to be crazy, but actually it's not gonna be the doors, it's going to be like Deep Impact, but actually it's gonna be even more than Deep Impact. It's going to be like the movie 2012, but it's gonna be more than that. Have you ever seen the massive storm on Jupiter? It's like that, but imagine if it's the whole planet. Like, okay. And then
red wave. What happened to the red wave, Congresswoman?
They brought them on one after the other to just like cackle at them every single time. It was just so good. But the coping and seething continued. All right, the coping and seething happened. Now listen. Obviously, they were very mad. They were very, very mad with what was going on. They were all expecting there to be like a big red wave, but nothing happened like it at all. Tucker Carlson came on before the election dropped and said, here, let me see if I can pull this up for you. Can I find this? I'm not sure if I can find this off the bat, but Tucker Carlson even said before the election happened that if John Fetterman won, that would mean that the election was stolen. And so now all of them were like, there's no possible way that Fetterman can win. It's not even remotely possible that he can win. Oz sweep. It's gonna be over. And then this happened. John Fetterman wins 51-47. Soon may the Fetterman come to bring us radical socialism. It's so good. It's so good. I love I love playing it over and over again in my head. Oh, it's so good. They thought it was going to be so easy to take down Fetterman. All of them were spending all of their time calling him mentally disabled. They were calling him stupid. There was like, there's no way that he could possibly ever win an election like this. He's handicapped. And then he completely blew them all out of the water. And none of them could ever accept that that was the case. It's very funny. Let me tell you. Very, very funny. Indeed. And this was from CNN. I don't watch CNN much, but I have to show you this clip because it's honestly, it tells us everything we need to know about what happened in Pennsylvania on election night.
Probably one of my favorite statistics of the whole night is that according to the exit polls, Pennsylvania voters were far more concerned about believed that being from New Jersey was a much bigger problem than having had a stroke. And I respect that in Pennsylvanians. As a New Yorker, I have similar views towards New Jersey.
So me too. So true. So once again, yes, I feel them. Also, as a New Yorker, I feel the same way. When they went to everybody was talking going to the ballot box. What about the stroke? What about the stroke? What about the stroke? Nobody cares about the stroke in Pennsylvania, okay? You know what's worse than a stroke could ever be? And you can recover from a stroke. You'll never recover from being born in you'll never recover from being born in New Jersey. All right? That's not something, that's a wound that you cannot heal from. That's a wound that you can't heal from. But there are a lot of takes. There are a lot of takes about what was happening, what was going on. And I want to show you some of the insane takes that conservatives had. Now, one of the big cope sessions that have been going on has been Charlie Kirk's stream. Charlie Kirk has been streaming day in and day out from November 7th to study the election and everything. And it hasn't been going too well for him. And so it moved from him being a source of right-wing news on what's going on in the election to a source of cope clips and images that people have been pulling from his stream as he watched some of the election results roll in, and his inability to come to grips with what he was looking at. Mind you, this is a midterm election with a Democratic president. There's no possible way that Republicans should be getting bodied as hard as they have been. There's no reason they should be getting bodied as hard as they have been. But it's too late. It's too late.
Look, I'm panicking because you need 10 times more votes than you have right now. And by the way, wouldn't it be better for us to panic and not celebrate? You expect me to bring champagne on here right now? I'm telling you right now, modeling is not there.
There are three rushes on election day. There's the early morning rush, there's a lunchtime rush, and there's your after work rush. What Charlie is saying here is that first rush did not come in the numbers that we needed to have it come in.
Yeah, and we don't know it. Tyler Boyer says we are on track to lose. So look, I mean, if you guys think that's the problem, then you can stay at home and enjoy a Katie Hobbs governorship. I sure hope people start turning out, right?
And things haven't improved much for them. They're on like a big cope session where they're like, oh, everything's fine. They're trying to call Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake, once again, we've talked about her before. She was the woman who said that ballots were carried on the backs of 2,000 mules into Arizona, and that's why Donald Trump lost the state in the 2020 election cycle, because of those 2,000 mules. So she's not very smart, but Charlie and company have been has been like sucking her dick for like quite a long time now. He actually has some of her workers and campaign managers in a part of the stream to talk about how she's definitely going to win, and they're just doing like math after math after math and saying, assuming this, if we qualify this, oh, if we take a look here, as you can see that on this branch here, I've been able to pinpoint this neighborhood, and obviously here, if she gets this percentage of the votes, then she can obviously still pull it out. And they keep having a singular phrase, okay, a big phrase in their stream so far has been last bad batch, okay? Last bad batch. Every single time a new batch comes in, a batch of like dump of votes, and they're bad for Carrie Lake and Blake Masters, the two people running in the big Arizona elections. Every time those are like bad, they keep saying, oh, this is the last bad batch. They said it for the last like 3 days that this is the last bad batch to come in. And then the problem is the batches just keep coming in and the batches are still bad. I pulled this clip while I was watching their stream last night, and I just wanted to show it to you because it's actually very funny.
It is a family show. So someone says, Charlie, I thought the last bad batch was over. You keep on saying that. Look, I mean, we're at the whim of Maricopa County.
No, that's the last bad batch that we got.
But this is the last one.
That is truly.
That was the last bad batch
in Maricopa County.
So let me ask a question.
Truly, now, asterisk, in Maricopa County.
So let me ask a question. So how many ballots was that? That was 73,000 ballots? Yes. Right? So that means that there's still 330 remaining in Maricopa County?
Now what they...
And 290 of them were day of drops. So that means that at the worst case scenario, 40 of them would be not so good.
Now one thing to pay attention to that you should be aware of, one thing that could be happening is they could do more of this really screwed up move where they release Democrat votes first and these 290,000 drops.
So that's what they keep. So also this is their big plan. Is they keep saying that, oh, what's happening when I say it's the last bad batch, but bad batches keep coming. What's happening is what they're doing is they're like running the votes, and then they're taking all of the votes that are like good for Democrats and then piling them all up together and then dropping those so they can control the narrative that things are going well for Democrats. But actually that's not happening because they're holding back the bad votes and for them. And so the Republican votes, those are sticking in, but when all the votes are counted, we're going to be good. But they keep lying to people and telling them that the batches are good when they keep trying to make them good batches when they're not actually good batches. It's really sad.
But again,
if they really want to keep on,
if they really want to just really
stretch this out,
I mean, look, we're tracking all this, people. Like, we have this like literally recorded online. We're like in real time, like watching this stuff happen. If that happens, these people, like, I'm not kidding you. There's going to be investigations like you wouldn't believe into what they're doing. And I'm telling you this. I'm publicly warning.
And now he's threatening people
over at the Maricopa County Recorder's Office right now and at the Elections Department in Maricopa County. If that is what you're doing, you're going to get investigated like you've never believed before.
That's what they're doing here, though. I mean, there's no other way to.
No, but if that's true,
this is partisan drops, man.
I can almost guarantee you that.
It's just that's what. So yeah. Just don't take my word for it. They're just saying it.
I can.
I mean, there's no other way to.
No, but if that's true,
this is partisan drops, man.
There's no other way to explain why these batches just keep coming in bad for us. If they really were winning, they'd be twisting themselves in the pretzels over the results. Oh yeah. Oh 100%. While they're losing this election, they're talking about some things that they can do better. Benny Johnson is here. Who's going to tell us exactly what he thinks the Republicans should do to actually win power. And I have to tell you, it's not all the funny things that they said on stream. This one actually isn't funny. This part's actually not funny. This is a new level of cope.
Will Republicans use power?
This is my question. Will they wield power? Because if you have a single takeaway as the result stands right now, it is that what the Republican electorate wants is a strong executive who utilizes and wields power over his enemies and then destroys his enemies and makes them grovel, makes molten salty tears flow from their faces, as Ron DeSantis did with Disney. Man, have you ever, think about a timeline that we're living in right now. The timeline we're living in right now is that Elon Musk just endorsed Republicans for Congress. You had that going for you. You have Cenk Uygur, Cenk Uygur, your best friend, Charlie Kirk.
I'm really close with.
I live every day as a capitalist. Your best friend voting for a Republican, flipped Democrat, but a Republican, Rick Caruso. And then you have essentially every headwind of culture heading our direction, and we couldn't deliver a victory. However, of course, Florida, we showed the way. The path was a.
So basically what he's saying is that they need a strong man to come in and wield power to against our enemies to make them cry and cringe. Did you hear anything in there about like using power to make the world a better place or something? It's just wield power to make my enemies sad. That's pretty fascisty, right? I mean, like a little bit, right? Like you know, like a little bit. That's not very good. That's kind of bad. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty gross, actually. But it tells them a lot about. But it tells you a lot about what they think about when it comes to policies. Like conservatives, when we come to policy, when progressives and other like left-wing people, when they come to like policy and thinking about these types of things, we think about it in the sense of how can we help people? How can we make the world a better place? How can we do things to improve people's lives? They come at it in the sense of how can I use the power that I've been granted to make my enemies sad and angry? That's the only thing that they care about. That's it. It's really literally only owning the libs. And they still, what you should have learned from this is that just using your power simply for just like across the country, right? Use your power simply to just like make your enemies mad isn't actually how you win people over. It's not. But that's not what they want to take from this at all. And it's very interesting how like people like Charlie Kirk and Benny Johnson are basically echoing the same things that other conservatives, just like Nick Fuentes is saying on his stream.
You got to recognize the fact that this is a godless country. I hate it. It's immoral, it's wrong, it's heinous, it's evil, but this is an evil country. And this country will surprise you with how evil it is. And that's why you got to get this out of your head that there is some silent majority cavalry that's going to come out of the woods and save us at the last minute. It's not. When we meet the left on the battlefield and they outnumber us like 5-1, that's it. But the point is, when you look at these things like abortion, it's popular. People like abortion, hate it, but it's true. And you can thank the Jewish media for that.
Of course.
It's all popular. And it sucks, and it is what it is, but that's why we need dictatorship. That's unironically why we need to get rid of all that. We need to take control of the media or take control of the government and force the people to believe what we believe or force them to play by our rules.
See, we need a strong man to come in. We need a strong man to come in and wield that power. Yeah, basically what I was talking about is how they need apparently a dictatorship. That's almost exactly what Benny Johnson said. Only we'll just get it in democratically. We'll just do what like dictators do, but we'll do it democratically. That's how we'll do it. Sure, buddy. 100%. Also, a quick little cope thread of what's been going on with the midterm meltdown on Fox News from people like Jesse Waters and others.
I can't believe John Fetterman won.
This is, in fact, bad for the Democrats. They're going to misread this as like, oh, we won.
Joe Biden was not punished.
This morning, had there been a big red wave, everybody would be going, blame Joe Biden. Can't say that now.
You can't say that right now.
It's still a win for pro-lifers. This new generation is totally brainwashed.
When we just owned the libs, we didn't win those races.
This is...
Oh no, they're learning. When we own the libs, we don't win. What? What's happening? Huh? But I owned all of the libs. Why aren't you guys voting for me? Come on, guys. Did you see how angry I made them on Twitter? What? Guys.
Not a surprise. We knew it would be extremely tight.
Forget the red wave, the red tide, whatever it was. It doesn't matter at this point.
They're always going to spin things against us.
Single women and voters under 40 have been captured by Democrats. So we need these ladies to get married.
Oh, yeah. So this was Jesse Waters' analysis. So basically, Jesse has come out and he was talking about the fact that he's very upset. Here we go. Here's the full clip. So Jesse is very upset that every single like demographic when it comes to like your marital status votes for Republicans as a whole, except for single women. And so he's like, we have to help these single women from voting for Democrats so we can finally win elections. And and his response was, it's time for you to marry. It's time to get them married. That's the solution. These bitches need to marry.
Single women are breaking for Democrats by 30 points. And this makes sense when you think about how Democrat policies are designed to keep women single.
So
but
true.
Once women get married, they won't date Republican. Married women, married men go for Republicans by double digits. But single women and voters under 40 have been captured by Democrats. So we need these ladies to get married. And it's time to fall in love and just settle down. Guys, go put a ring on it.
Guys, please marry these women. Please, we need them. Fucking cool. It is weird as hell. Jesse on the breeding machine. Oh yeah, and he also brings back the welfare queen bit.
Responsible with money that they first took out a loan they were never going to pay off. That once you give them more money, they spend it on gambling and drugs.
All right, this is incentivized.
This is the new welfare queen. Remember back in the 80s, it was that little, you're driving the Cadillac after you're taking this welfare. Now, the new welfare queen is a 30-year-old white chick with a grad degree who's in Cancun taking selfies saying #thank you, Joe Biden.
So, I got any white women in chat? I got any... I got any white welfare queen? It's also very curious how he didn't name race in the first one, but now he names race here. Are you telling me the welfare queens before they weren't white? Yeah, say it with your chest. We hate white women. Jesse Waters comes out, I hate white women. Oh my goodness, Jesse. How could you say that about our girls? How could you say that about them? This is so rude. These poor white women, leave them alone. You're bullying. You're bullying. So they can't win single white people. They also can't win Zoomers. I'm not sure if you saw this, but the day after the election, a bunch of conservatives started to come out to talk about how angry they are at Zoomers. This is one woman. Gen Z is destroying the country at the ballot box. It's destroying the country. How could they do this to us? And so this has been her takeaway from Gen Z voting for Democrats by, I think, 28 points. Raised the voting age to 21. Here, let me see. Where was more of this? She's tweeting so much. I hate people that tweet so much. It makes it so hard to find like their actual tweets. It is so sad. Good Lord, how much does this woman tweet? How much do these people tweet? How much can you tweet? Here we go. A person's brain doesn't fully develop until they're about 25 years old. That's why the vast majority of Gen Z voters are Democrats. So true. Keep shitting on the people you need to vote for you to win elections, girl. It'll work out. They'll vote for you, and yeah, they'll vote for you. Just keep making fun of them. Keep doing it. They'll vote for you, okay? They'll do it. Just keep going. Make it happen. Keep making fun of them. It'll work out. I promise. I promise. So Jesse and crew haven't been having too much fun. And these guys haven't been having too much fun either. But it seems like some people actually get it, okay? Jesse himself came out to say this.
Bunch more House Republicans are going to come in through the West right now. Yeah. But this was a red wave if you're looking at in Florida.
Yeah, so true.
There's just not the hatred for Joe Biden that there is for Barack Obama and for the Clintons. There's not a hate Biden vote that's out there. When you go with Trump's on the ballot, there's that hate Trump Democrat vote. People just don't feel the same passion against the guy that they also feel
he's just
for other
really
people.
Nice guy.
You know what? I mean, it is true. Even though people don't like Biden that much, they don't hate him. He's just kind of there. It's incredible. You know how we remember during the 2020 election cycle where like Biden doesn't make people like feel much of anything? You know, there aren't people who are like crazy, we love Biden, we love Biden. But there aren't that many people who are just like, I hate that guy. There are really not that many people who genuinely hate Biden. It is incredible. So it seems like it kind of played out in Democrats' favor that he's just kind of like a wet piece of cardboard, you know? People just don't have much feelings about him at all in any way, shape, or form. Honestly. And also something interesting from Ted Cruz. As wild as it may be, Ted Cruz actually said something correct. Incredible, isn't it? Take a look at this.
Up our sleeves and governing. And here's a lesson to take from last night. Look, why did the Democrats do better than expected? Because for 2 years, they've governed as liberals. They've governed as whacked out lefty nut jobs. And you know what that did? That excited their base. That excited a bunch of young voters that came out in massive numbers, because when you actually stand for something, your base gets excited. There's a lesson for Republicans to learn, which is when we have a majority next year, we damn well better act like it and use it. We need.
It's wild, right? And did you see that? How they were about to cut him off? They were
like it and use it. We need.
The music came in. They're about to cut him off. They're like, okay, buddy. All right, they're talking about like actually doing stuff for your voters. All right, calm down. All right, it's not that serious. It's not that serious, okay, buddy. Look at get up there. Yeah, can you imagine like all the freaking people behind the camera? He's like, you actually do something for your voters, and they're like, get a load of this guy. What got into him? But not everybody can even fathom what's going on to have a point on it in the first place. Take a look at this radio show while they were watching the election go down. I tell you, it's pretty funny.
I'm still beside myself as I'm sitting here looking at all the things that we're dealing with, and I'm saying to myself, how?
What? We own the libs. How is it we owned the libs were owned? Did you see how hard we owned them when it came to critical race theory? Did you see how many YouTube videos I made about them taking away the Native American butter girl? How?
I have to look at this and go, Carrie Lake is down by 13%, with 70% of Maricopa reporting.
Told you, they can't let her be governor. She'll investigate. They can't let her have it.
It can't be that we simply didn't get enough votes to win. They took it from, they couldn't let her do it. They couldn't let her have it. I'm telling you. Why'd you ever think she was going to win? Why do you all vote in the first place if you think every time you lose, it'll just get stolen from you? Who cares then?
We can see the fraud.
I can see
We can see the fraud in the machines.
I can smell
we can
it.
see
It's
it. We can see
literally right
yes,
there.
Mail-in ballots. Yes, 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 yes. The ERIC system shares all these people, and the fraud of stealing people's identities and putting that in and front-loading the machines with the SQL database, which I said you could do. It showed it in Mesa County. You run the database right next to the thing. I'm still...
I'm literally looking at the fraud. The fraud is spilling out of this machine. Out of all of its orifices. It's everywhere. Oh. And this is what happens when you bank your entire persona on like owning the libs and not doing anything. You get what happened to Lauren Boebert. All right. Lauren Boebert is right now fighting for her life to keep her congressional seat. Her entire district moved to the left by like 10 points. And now she's dealing with the fact that she may lose her seat. This was her at the beginning. These are before and after pictures of election night. This is when the votes first dropped at her victory party. And this is her. And this is her a couple hours into the night at her victory party, okay? As you can see, there's a strong difference in what's been going on. She may not win her seat. She may not keep her seat in Congress. We're not sure yet. She so far since here she's taken the lead, and when I say taken the lead, I mean she's up by I think 1,000 votes. Period. So without them being done counting yet, so Lauren Boebert could actually lose her seat It seems like this is what happens when you spend all of your time doing nothing for your doing nothing for your constituents while pretending that you're some sort of like big hotshot because you tweeted some angry things at the libs. You know what I mean? Even Donald Trump is mad. Even Donald Trump is upset, right? Trump reportedly furious at Oz's flop, blames Melania and Hannity. So Donald Trump is just thrashing right now and going crazy. He's attacking Ron DeSantis. He's attacking Oz. He's attacking Walker. He's attacking Sean Hannity. He's attacking his wife and everybody. Yes, his wife. Yes, even Melania Trump, he's going crazy against. Reports say he's furious about Tuesday's lackluster showing, tossing the ire at Oz and blaming his wife Melania for advising him to endorse the celebrity TV host. So yeah, Dr. Oz got bodied in Pennsylvania, and Melania was one of the people who advised him on endorsing Oz and making Oz like his candidate. You know what I mean? And so he's like you made me. He's like, stupid woman, you made me look bad type thing. That's why he's mad at his own wife. People are saying that he's screeching at Mar-a-Lago, throwing shit around the room, yelling at anybody who will spend any time to listen about how bad things are. It is just wild. Right here. Can I find this? Yeah, here we go. This is him before the election happened. I just want you to take a look at this.
Cycle. Tonight, win or lose, the results for Republicans, how much of that will be because of Donald Trump?
Well, I think if they win, I should get all the credit. And if they lose, I should not be blamed at all.
I love this guy, dude. I love this. I love this guy. He's spin shameless. Absolutely shameless. I love him. If they win, that's on me. If they lose, I can't believe they did that. Yeah, he didn't take a second to even think about it. He knew exactly what was going to be going on, okay? Or the orange Giga Chat. Dude.
Trump. Well, I think if they win, I should get all the credit. And if they lose, I should not be blamed at all, okay? But it'll probably be just the opposite. When they win, I think they're going to do very well. I'll probably be given very little credit, even though in many cases I told people to run. And they ran, and they turned out to be very good candidates. You know, they've turned out to be very good candidates. They turned out to be very good candidates. You know, they've turned out to be very good candidates. But usually...
They've turned out to be great candidates. Amazing candidates, okay? But Trump isn't having it. He's been very upset with what's going on. And what's making him more upset, and we'll talk about this in a moment, is the upcoming Republican Civil War. And what I'm talking about is the big war between the two stars of the Republican Party right now, which is Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, okay? A lot of conservatives are thinking about jumping off the Trump train. They're getting off the Trump ship, and a lot of people are saying that Ron DeSantis is the new conservative king. And so this is not good because Trump hates DeSantis. Trump hates DeSantis these days. He thinks DeSantis is like a liar and a fiend. He basically said that he fixed DeSantis's election for him back in 2018. He called him Ron Sanctimonious. You're right. He called him Ron Sanctimonious, which is Ron DeSanctimonious, which is incredible. A bit of a cringe name, I'm not gonna lie. I think he could have came up with something better than that. It seemed like he may have lost his edge. Needs some work. Yeah, it's not as good as like Sleepy Joe. It's not as good as Sleepy Joe, I will say. Slow Ronnie. Yeah, he should have called him Slow Ronnie. That Slow Ronnie is way better than Ron DeSanctimonious. It's too long, too cringe. He's lost his edge. Hate to see it. Yeah, too many syllables. And he thinks that he's stealing his thunder. Even who's the guy who draws the horny conservative comics? What's that guy's name? Ben Garrison. Trump has even lost Ben Garrison. If you take a look at this, look at that. DeSantis steals Trump's thunder. He's not even drawing Trump as buff anymore. Remember how he used to always draw Trump as like buff and having a massive cock? He doesn't even draw Trump as buff anymore. And now it's Ron DeSantis time. Why is he so hot? DeSantis doesn't look like this. Yeah, he's not even drawing. Yeah, he hates him now. It's over, bro. The edits keep on coming. I love Ben Garrison edits. They're always great. They're always fantastic. These hoes ain't loyal. It's true. These hoes ain't loyal. It was a part of a bigger a part of a bigger meme where like election notes too big to steal. Oh my gosh. New face of democracy. Apparently this is supposed to be John Fetterman, but he looks like a cross between John Fetterman and Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? He looks like Fetterman. He looks like a mix between Fetterman and Rogan. And I don't like it. It makes me very upset. Too many fake, no new friends. Midterms. What I expected to happen didn't happen. Is that all? Joe Biden continues on. You hate to see it. With all that being said, one of the biggest L's for them comes into the big thing that they've been talking about, which is their hate for trans peoples. Okay, we love our trans peoples. All right, we think that they're great. I think that they're fantastic. All right. Well, let me back up. I think they could be worse. One of the big L's is them pretending like their agenda of being anti-trans rights actually does anything for them, when the answer is no, it doesn't. Matt Walsh came out to say that they made being like pro-trans a losing issue. That's just factually not true. And the way that we can just prove this is by looking at this. Democrats retained majority in Wake County school board election, win 7 of the 9 seats. So this is from Wake County, North Carolina school board, where multiple Republican candidates were pushing book bans and anti-trans rules and more. Anti-trans policies are not a political winner. And so trans rights around the country were able to stand strong. You love to be able to see it. A lot of anti-trans politicians around the country were trying their best to make sure that they got into office to implement more book bans, more anti-trans policies, more bathroom bans, things along those lines. And it did not work. It was a losing issue. Okay. It was an L. Yes. If you're a trans person, make sure that you stream Kendrick Lamar. It was Kendrick Lamar who helped change the course of the trans conversation in this country. Thank you. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar. Very cool. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar. Common Kendrick W. You love to see it. Kendrick Lamar has saved the trans race. Thank you, Kendrick. Yeah, very cool. It's great. It's honestly fantastic. It means a lot. There are so many more people who could have been in jeopardy when it comes to their rights and well-being, and I'm glad that didn't turn out that way. Another thing from this. Also, Aaron makes great posts on this. I don't know who this Aaron Reed person is, but they seem cool, and they post a lot about stuff like this. Surprised and joyful. Is the Lafayette school board race. It's scary seeing signs for people and folks in my own neighborhood, but your advocacy made me aware to check these local races and vote for more accepting candidates. Thank you for your tireless work. True. Make sure you stay out there. Okay. You can't say you care about these people. You can't say you care about civil rights when you don't get out there and stop the people who have the highest likelihood of taking away civil rights from people who you know and people who you don't know as well. That's important. So that is the race. All right. And that is the coping and seething that they've been going through. I will tell you, just to remind you, this was a midterm. This was a midterm. There's no reason why Democrats should have done well in any way, shape, or form here. None at all. None at all. None at all. But the fact that they are is an amazing thing. It's actually fantastic. And it shows us, we talked about this earlier, that the more far right the conservatives are going, the more people do not want to be a part of their insane ploy. And they actually want something. They want to be offered something. They want something to vote for. And that's more than just owning the libs or the culture war. They want more than that. I'm glad to see it. This is a massive step forward. And yeah, they'll lose the House, but they only need 5 seats to get the House in the first place. The fact that we're even talking about whether or not they'll lose the House is an incredible sign. Stay out there. Thank you so much for everybody who got out there and actually voted and things along those lines. I really appreciate you. You made this happen. It's not over, but pat yourself on the back. Take a little breather and watch the cope train come in. because there's still more work to do in this country, but this is a great step forward. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it.